Hey everybody, it's Dave, Midwest Dave's Gold Prospecting. I hope you guys are out there finding a lot of morels right now. We're getting close to the end of the season. I got one more recipe I want to share with you. I caught a little grief last time when I created soup that was a little complicated for some. They said that I had ruined morels. I think they're a little bit crazy because that soup was incredible. This time around we're going to make some homemade egg noodles, and I'm going to cover them with a Morel pesto with it's got some walnuts and pine nuts in it. Let's go take a look at that recipe I'm coming up with right now just for you, and hope you like it. I think it's going to be incredible, and I'll let you know if it is. Take care. All right, here you go. Here's some homemade egg noodles. I'm not going to spend a lot of time showing you how I made them and all that sort of thing, but I took 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 whole eggs, and 4 egg yolks, and I mixed all them eggs up, mixed it with the flour, added a little bit of salt and pepper, rolled it out with my silicone rolling pin on a silicone mat, and then I cut it with this pizza cutter. It doesn't cut through the mat, and it works really good. You just got to keep the noodles all floured up, and I'm going to pull them off here and throw them in some boiling water and get them things done, and we'll start on our recipe. Here's the pesto that I made, and it consists of a 1/2 cup of pine nuts, a 1/4 cup of cashews, and I roasted those until they were just starting to brown. And at the same time, I took a bunch of leftover stems of morels and some of the pieces that were a little bit overripe, and I trimmed them off, and probably had about 2 cups of the morels, and I cooked them down in butter with 2 cloves of garlic. When that was completed, I put everything into a food processor and just ground it all up to make the pesto. So if you're used to making a pesto, all you do is replace what normally would be basil and replace it with mushrooms. They really go down from, you know, when you have 2 cups of them, when you start and you end up, and all this only amounts to about 1.25 cups here. So play around with it. This is my first time. When I tasted this morning, when I made it, it was incredible. So this is just the base of the pesto. We're going to be adding large pieces of mushrooms into the dish. So when people say you won't taste the mushrooms, that is not true at all. This is going to be an incredible dish. So just hold on. For the next step, let's just get 3 to 4 quarts of water and get it boiling. I'm going to add a little salt so that the noodles get a little bit of flavoring. And that's probably good enough. As soon as this is boiling, we're going to drop those noodles in. Here's the mushrooms we're going to be using today. This is from the last time I went out. I've got 7 really big ones. This one kind of broke apart. And I think this is going to be plenty once I get them all the way clean and cut up. This in combination with our pesto and all these noodles, some garlic, a little bit of wine, it ought to make one heck of a dish. I've dropped the noodles into the boiling water, and as you can see, the boil kind of went away because of the noodles were a lot cooler. But as soon as these things are floating good, I'm going to pull them out, throw them in a colander, and put some cold water on to stop the cooking. There's our noodles all chilled down. I put them in this colander, ran cold water over them, and letting them sit in here to make sure we can knock off some of the water that's still on them. Those are going to be real good. I tasted one. Incredible. Here we go, starting out with our trusty Wagner number 10 well-seasoned pan, and we're going to get it fired up on high heat. And to that, I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And then we're going to throw in 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 clove of garlic. Keep in mind I already put 2 cloves of garlic in the pesto. And just a pinch of Italian seasoning, maybe 2 pinches. There you go. And you get that to where this butter's all nice and melted and hot. That butter's about melted. We're going to throw in our morels. I've got a little over 3 cups of Morels. As you can see, there's a lot of stems. Whoa! There's a lot of stems in there. And it's a good way to use up those pieces that probably aren't going to be great for frying and hold together real well. And we're going to just cook this down to where it all becomes soft. To this, I'm going to add a couple ounces of real dry white wine. This stuff is super dry. I guess they're about 2 ounces. Let that cook, all that alcohol cook out and get burned by the flames coming up. All that's cooking down, all the alcohol's cooked out of that, we can add the pesto into it. And at the same time we can start turning down that heat to a simmer. Get that all mixed together. Got it, cat. Now we can throw in our noodles. I'll fill this pan up pretty well. Oh, good enough. I can just get that all mixed up real well. Now we can add some fontanella cheese with this microplane. Not a bunch, just a little bit to give a little more flavor. You can add more in your dish. Yep, just a little more stirring here and we're going to be good to go. I hear the wife pouring the wine already, so she's ready to eat. You ready to eat, Vic?
Yep.
You excited? This would be a great meal for a young man or woman who goes out mushroom hunting to serve on their first date. It'd be a great test because if they don't like this, it's time to get rid of them. All right, let's try this out, see how we did. That is incredible. You guys need to make this and try it out. Thanks for watching.